As the United States was preparing to bomb Iran's nuclear facilities in June, two B-2 Spirit bombers landed at its Air Force base in Guam. Ultimately, the attack was launched from a base in Missouri, and the bombers sent to Guam turned out to be a decoy. It was a minor story in the grand scheme of things, but for Micronesians, it confirmed their worst fears, that their peaceful islands are being used as pawns.
But the anxiety is, what's next? Is war coming?
They're only thinking about their war plan. They don't consider human beings.
The United States is rapidly expanding its military presence in Micronesian nations and territories across the Pacific, along what it calls the second island chain, a backup line of defence in a future war with China.
These islands are the tip of America's spear in the Pacific.
These islands are also home to nearly 250,000 people. And some fear the US makes them a target.
Guam is the tip of the spear, but it's also the bullseye.
Yet others say it offers protection.
Presence is deterrence.
But when the world's most powerful military flexes its muscles, humans and the environment suffer the consequences. Something this part of the world knows all too well.
Napalm-filled belly tanks.
The US already has thousands of troops permanently stationed in Guam. In what is arguably the biggest military build-up here since World War II, the US is investing in several permanent positions in Palau, the Federated States of Micronesia, and Northern Marianas, as it prepares for a potential conflict with China. In Palau, radar facilities and airstrips are cropping up from north to south, and it's leveraging long-standing agreements with Micronesian nations to do so.
The US, under the compact, is responsible for our security and defense.
Palau is in a compact of free association with the US. The agreement gives the military wide-ranging access to the land, seas and skies, in exchange for hundreds of millions of dollars in funding to keep the country functioning.
They said they're there to protect us, we're partners, and we want to make sure that the United States is ready to defend, and that's why we have to work together with them.
Palau's government has welcomed the military investment. The president says his country is already at war with China.
We know that the U.S. has a very sophisticated military and an advanced military, and if you want peace, you get it through strength, as Trump says and also as Reagan said.
These days, there's another superpower in the region. China has developed the DF-26 ballistic missile with a 4,000-kilometre range. It's also known as the Guam Killer.
It used to be that the tip of the spear meant that Guam was the venue from which attacks were made into the Asian Pacific region. But now, because the tip of the spear is possibly under attack, are you really the tip of the spear, or are you the number one target?
The US strategy is to disperse military assets across many islands, making their position in Guam less vulnerable. But is it also inviting war to these peaceful islands? This week, 3 Taiwanese warships and 1 US Navy vessel have pulled up in the harbour here behind me. It's a common sight here for locals and a pertinent reminder that this peaceful, idyllic nation is very much a character in the theatre of war between the US and China. Experts say China is preparing to invade Taiwan, and that could bring fighting to Palau, one of Taipei's 3 remaining allies in the Pacific.
To bring all of these infrastructures that serves war into Palau puts us at the center of a war field. We're just a war shield to them. We're disposable to them. The environment has paid the price. Eventually, the people of those communities will pay the price.
Anne is a co-signer of a complaint submitted to the United Nations alleging the US military has violated human rights through the destruction of the environment and indigenous culture.
And I don't know if they intentionally took advantage of the fact that the communities were so uninformed, but I am starting to think that's just how they operate. They're given orders to go and execute a plan. And that's it.
7 high school students co-signed the human rights complaint, including Anne's daughter.
So we wanted to stand up and be the voice and present the issues for the people who are too scared to do it themselves.
We're fighting against the military, and that even though we're smaller islands, we can also fight if we are willing to fight and make a difference.
To understand the US military's relationship with Palau, you need to travel to Anguilla in the south. It's a tropical paradise, home to less than 200 people, yet they aren't strangers to death and destruction.
The invasion of Anguilla was made by the Army's 81st Division on September 17th. Anguilla was not heavily defended, but the enemy had to be wiped out yard by yard.
In World War II, American troops claimed the island from the Japanese and built an airstrip. Peace returned, but now the bulldozers are back. The US military is building an advanced runway and radar system designed to detect attacks and disperse aircraft along the second island chain.
But the anxiety is, what's next? Is war coming? Are we prepared for that? The first thing they will do is eliminate the communication.
The teenagers' complaint to the UN says the military began land clearing and construction without obtaining the necessary permits. Locals here told ABC they were left in the dark. The US ambassador in Palau said they were committed to transparency and environmental stewardship.
We understand that some residents have expressed concerns about the impacts of the project. The US takes these matters seriously and will continue to engage with local leaders and residents to address the questions and ensure the project aligns with shared goals.
As the US military prepares for war, some worry that they are forgetting about those who served in their past conflicts.
My name is Norbert Diano, and I served in the US military special forces from 27 years.
Palauans can serve in the US Armed Forces, enlisting at higher per capita rates than any other US states. Yet local veterans aren't receiving the same benefits as their mainland comrades.
We're asking for the same assistance, same benefits that all the veterans in the mainland US enjoy.
Last year, the US Congress passed a bill with provisions for the Secretary of Veterans Affairs to provide hospital care and medical services for veterans in the compact nations. Since then, the Trump administration's America First agenda has drastically reshaped federal spending.
It's up to the Secretary of the VA. If he feels like doing it, he can do it. I don't know if they're really serious about providing.
A spokesperson for Veterans Affairs said the bill did not adequately fund veterans' health in any of the compact nations.
While the Veterans Affairs has not yet expanded direct care to the freely associated states, we continue to explore options to provide the highest quality care to eligible veterans in the region.
Still, Norbert says Palau is better off with US protection. Opinion here remains split on whether militarisation makes Palau more safe, but most will acknowledge if war returns here, it's likely to be far more devastating than the last time.